Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be doing a noob's guide kind of introduction to gathering professions. Let's go. Okay, so gathering professions, what are they? They're pretty bog standard, they're relatively easy to do, and they're the most common ways of making gold. And personally, I believe that if you are just starting off with gold making, then I recommend you do gold farming with your gathering professions. Now, this can be done in a few simple ways, and this is either with mining, fishing, herbalism, or using skinning, and or using your just open world mob farming such as volatile fire farms and all that types of jazz. Now, gathering is one of the most easiest profession based gold farming methods and is the most commonly used in order to make gold. The general idea of farming gold with a gathering profession is get the route, gather the materials and sell them. As one of the most easiest ways of making gold, it can be one of the most profitable during certain times of the year. This could be when the dark moon fair is up and there is a high demand for a certain item, aka dark moon daggermore. The next would be at the launch of a new expansion, which means all new gathering materials are at a high price for the first few months. However, gathering is still one of the major ways of making gold due to its simplicity. That being said, materials that are gathered up usually sell faster than most auctions, but sell for less gold than other items such as transmog. To get started is by picking a gathering profession and finding what farm would you like to do. I have provided 8 gathering farms for you to do, and these are in my opinion, the most profitable, but yet still bring in a decent amount of gold per hour over time invested. Now, as you can see the titanium ore farm, the thorium ore farm, albino cavefish, which is a very niche one, that's like the most longest selling one, but it pays off if you do like an hour or so. You've got your riverbud farm from BFA, you have your cataclysm farm for whiptail, and the Azara's Veil one. These ones are for the Vial of Sands, and I recommend that you can do them like an hour a week or something along those lines. Like stock up on a bulk load of these because they sell in the midterm and not that fast. Azara's Veil, however, opposed to the whiptail, the Azara's Veil will actually sell a little bit faster than the whiptail because it is a lot, I wouldn't say harder to actually farm up, but it is one of the most boring farms. So if you can stick it out, you can make a decent amount of gold with Azara's Veil. Next you have the slimy mackerel, that can be pretty much farmed up in the BFA zones, and that is really easy for you to do. The next one is a optional one. It is only available when the dark moon fair is up, which I have provided, and that is a short-term fishing farm, and that is the dark moon daggermore. Now, this can be farmed up anywhere on the dark moon fair island, and it can fetch you a pretty penny. Okay, so we're going to be wanting to start off both gold farming, and I've actually come up with a little list of things that you should do if you want to start making gold. So this is definitely for beginners, because gathering professions are pretty much for beginners. Now, I would go on to say that it is only a mining and herbalism farms that I've compiled, but I can compile some more for like fishing if you want to just like do just fishing, but it does kind of get a bit tedious after a while. Okay, so basically what we have here is what you want to be doing for a week. So this is just for 1 week. You do an hour a day, and you do for the mining, thorium ore for 1 hour, you do the fel iron, you do the saronite, pyrite ore, ghost iron ore, dark iron ore, and monolite ore. Now, these ones can be found relatively easy, and I highly recommend doing these ones. Now, I'm going to actually I'm actually going to add a load of the farms onto the website, so it's easier for you guys to actually pretty much see. and see what type of farm suits you best. But if you do an hour a day, and then all you would have to do from then is just top up which farm. So say that you farmed up all of them for the week, you have a stockpile of all of them on the auction house, and you say you ran out of fell iron ore. You make that for your next farm your priority, so then you farm that, restock it, and basically you're just going to cover all of those 7 bases and make sure that you have enough supply on the auction house. This will give you a good idea on how to actually control markets as well, and it will give you the basic understandings on how to sell different types of products and see which ones will actually sell the fastest, so then you can stock up in the long term as opposed to the short term. So you're getting short term gold, but you're planning for the long term as well, so you aren't spending forever just farming consistently like a crazy man. So you're making pretty much a reasonable amount of gold each and every day. Now this will get you to 1 million gold if you did that and just stayed consistent with topping up your auction house. Even on a low pop server, because I've done this before with the mining. The herbalism's a little bit more tricky, it'll take a little bit more time than the others. But if you're on a higher pop server, the herbs actually tend to sell faster than the mining stuff. So based on your auction house based thing of your server, then I would recommend either doing the mining or the herbing. So onto the herbing side of this, I suggest that you do an hour a day of Grom's Blood farming, Whiptail farming, Cinderbloom, Dreamleaf, Riverbud, Azara's Veil, and Winter's Kiss. These ones all tend to sell rather fast, and they cover a wide variety of expansions such as the mining one. By doing that, you are covering all of your bases. We have left out a couple of expansions because those herbs tend to sell for really cheap, so it's not even worth farming, or it's not going to actually bring you in any freaking gold, and it will just be a waste of your time basically. So I picked the 7 farms you could do a week and will provide you with a strong profit as a beginner getting into gold farming. Now, I will go on to say that this method will get you a lot of gold in a relatively short amount of time, but it just depends on your server and all that jazz. So if you're on a really low pop server, it's going to be harder for you to sell stuff, but you will sell it eventually. Just keep posting it every day, because you've got less competition, so you can post it up there for like 48 hours and just not have to touch it. But if you're on a high pop server, you're going to have to camp the auction house. And I recommend like 2 times a day at the minimum, because materials get undercut so goddamn fast, and if you're trying to make gold, it's worth you relisting the materials. Not so much for the transmog, but I will get back into transmog at some point. Probably will on the Wednesday video, because we have actually had a very good week and I'm looking forward to this. So that being said, I'm going to put all these farms up on the website. I'm going to put them as categories of herbalism and mining, so the little bit of the layout's going to change, but while this is uploading, I'm going to do that. So hopefully it will all be set up ready for when you guys have watched this video. That being the case, guys, what do you think on gathering professions? I personally think they are a smart way of starting off with gold making, and then we could get onto the crafted transmog and the standard transmog farms, along with other material farms such as volatile fire farms, which I do recommend, by the way. Volatile fire, volatile water, pretty much all the volatiles are worth farming. But if you're doing the Azara's Veil or the Whiptail farm, you're going to get volatile life with that, which will net you an additional gold. You can go into like other stuff like the dark runes, but that being the case, we'll leave that for another video because I'm extremely tired, and yeah. Have a lovely rest of the day, guys, and I shall see you in the next video Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Yeah.